So it's week 5, I think, of our updates. Our weekly update, week 5, I think, was it? Yes, it is. And we just got to get these out, haven't we? So if you can hear noise in the background, I'm very sorry. There's lots going on here at the moment, but I just want to get the weekly updates out on time. But this time, because I am at home doing this and we've just walked in the door and it's the craziness of Spanish life, which is good for you to see as well when you've got children, we have a special guest who wants to appear. And we have...
Stitch!
Yay! So this is Stitch. And Stitch is how old?
I've got no idea.
Oh, this isn't Stitch. This is Isla.
Yeah, this is Stitch.
There you go. Show everybody Stitch. So there you go. So pets, you can get hamsters in Spain as well. And the funniest thing is how they say hamster in Spanish. How do you say hamster in Spanish, Isla?
Hamster.
Say it with a bit more pronunciation. Stitch doesn't really like me. The first time I met Stitch, he just bit me. Didn't he?
The first time I met him, he didn't even bit me.
He didn't, did he? Didn't bite you, did he?
Grandma got all the bits.
Yeah, Grandma got bitten. She tamed him.
Yeah.
So there we go. Hamsters in Spain. Right then. You can have a pet hamster. Stitch is very loving. And luckily we've got a very old cat who doesn't care. Right, right, see you later then, Stitch. I better crack on.
Say bye.
Say bye to everybody. I think Stitch is saying bye. All right, so there you go. You've met Stitch. Wow. You might meet the cat in a minute as well. So what we're going to do, we're going to crack on with our emails. It's the 12th today. This is going out on the 13th, so I'm going back to the 5th to see what I've tagged in my email. So there we go. Been getting loads of stuff from people, so thank you. The more and more I do this, the more my friends, family, and clients are just tagging stuff for me to say. And it's all a bit random, but some of it's gems, I suppose, if you move in Spain. Hopefully it'll help you. So this first thing is a letter that we got from Molina, Ayuntamiento de Molina, which is the town hall from Molina. And it's quite interesting because we don't really see these a lot. But this is a resolución favorable, so it's a favourable resolution of being registered on the padrón. It's not a padrón certificate. So the only way to describe this is that the padrón is ran by a place, the census in a town hall. You have to apply to sign on the padrón. And when you apply and you're approved, you will get a document called a resolution, right? That's the same with residency. When you're doing your renewal for your non-lucrative visa, for example, you apply to immigration. And when you're approved, you get the resolution. And then you can register for your TIE card. Now, we don't often see these because most people just go straight in and get a padrón certificate, and that's just proof they're on the padrón. But these resolution letters are really interesting because it basically tells you the reason for jumping on the padrón. And this reason it's saying here, cambio de residencia, for change of residence, which we know most people are doing it for change of residence. But when you're trying to work with customs, this document can be really useful. Aside from having the actual padrón certificate, this resolution, I think, could be good if you're bringing your shackles in. But it's important to understand the structure of a padrón, and we're going to do a whole new video on it, and there are videos on this channel about it. But remember that when you register on the padrón, you don't necessarily automatically get a certificate. You have to request a certificate. You don't have to keep renewing that certificate unless you need one. That's the biggest and most common myth. Non-EU citizens have to go and re-register every 2 years, and EU citizens every 5 years, but they normally inform you by letter that you have to do so. Okay, but I thought it was an interesting thing to share about the resolution. It's not a padrón certificate. It's just the letter saying, we have now signed you on. If you want a certificate, you can come and get one. So what else have we got here? Weekly updates, weekly updates. I've lost my tag now. Let's go back. And, oh, this is an interesting one. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, that's the Molina one. UK government living in Spain gave out an update this week. Spain medical facilities and practitioners. List of English-speaking medical facilities and practitioners for British nationals in Spain, classified by region, Comunidad Autónoma. Change made. New consolidated lists of medical facilities and practitioners for the whole of Spain. Published at 1 minute past 3 on the 6th. And they open up the list, right? And there's not that many. I understand why. So we've got, in Malaga, there's supposed to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 English-speaking medical practitioners in Malaga. Doesn't make sense to me. There has to be more. There must be more people that can register. Huelva's only got 1. Granada seems to have a load. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in Granada. Cordoba's got 3. And Maria's got 1. That can't be right. That can't be right. I don't know how people get on this list, but there didn't seem to be enough, especially in Malaga. Very, very strange that. So, but there you go. That's what the government have published. So what else have we got going on the weekly update? So if we go, as always, I never look at these type before there we go. There's the government one, and we've got. Oh, here we go. So our client Neil. I'm going to pull up his email, has given us a full report back. Nice one, Neil. Because I keep going on about these reports back from the consulate, and I'm just going to show you now. Okay, here we go. So Neil's report. Hi Chris, I'm going to show you this on the photo that he sent me indicating where to park. But he said, hi Chris, here's our feedback from the BLS NRV application yesterday. He did drop me a line to say it went away. The office is very, very easy to find and identify when driving. There is a prominent BLS logos. There are prominent BLS logos on the windows. Great info. Parking is an issue. We would recommend leaving plenty of extra time. There are 2 small car parks signposted further down the same road. They were both full. We drove around and found NCP multi-story that wasn't signposted. It had a board outside that said full, but we did find a gap. Here's the Google Maps location. I'm going to stick the Google Maps location in the description below, and you have a photo there, which we're definitely going to add to our BLS article as well. Okay, the embassy is only 200 meters under the railway bridge from the BLS office. So there you go. The reception desk is just inside the door on the right, with the application counters opposite. We were surprised that the application was done standing at post office without counter. And I said, maybe that's a point that we need to bring up more for clients. Is like you expect to go in and have like some sort of local, like a Spaniard who looks close to retiring age, maybe with a moustache, and a flag behind him or her. Maybe it's a her, she won't have a moustache. But, somebody quite important and formal, maybe wearing a uniform with a flag. It just doesn't happen like that anymore. When we used to go to the consulate, there used to be a desk on the left, which looked like somebody should be sat there very important asking you questions. But now it's like a post office counter. At the reception desk, we're given 2 small plastic bags for the return of the passports and the checklist sheet, and asked to put our paperwork in the order given. So they're given a different checklist on the Manchester BLS to what they publish online, which at the moment all they do is refer back to the London checklist. So all 3 consulates have got slightly different orders, but we haven't had a problem with our own internal checklist, to be honest. This was a difference that we had. This was different to the order we have our docs in, which is what we told them to put them in, because we have an internal one, which matches the website, but the 3 of them have different checklists now, so that's great as well. As long as you've got your documents, it doesn't matter, to be honest with you. But we will be looking at probably doing 3 different individual checklists, depending on what happens in the future with these places. As it was a joint application, we went through both sets of paperwork simultaneously. Form by form, he asked us to remove all paper clips that we had used to separate each set. we still advise paper clips. Do not staple and do not use plastic wallets. They seem to have changed policy, as it was the very first thing he did was carefully tear our passport photos off the application forms. He said they now take photos in real time in the office, which happened at another desk at the end of the process. Remember, we spoke about that before. You only need to photocopy the main passport ID page plus one blank page to show there was space left in the passport for another entry stamp. Right. Now, this is important because I tell everybody to go with a full copy of the passport to every consulate. And the reason that we do that is because our experience is that half the time they want it and half the time they don't. And when they don't want it, they send you off down the road. So when they do want it, if you haven't got it, they'll send you off down the road to get copies. Albeit, I once got a really good report back from BLS London saying they did copies for them. Okay, so I still tell people, take a full copy. If you walk away with a lot of recycling or scrap paper, I'm afraid that's just the way it is. Although we had 12 months of bank statements, they only needed 3 months. Minimum takes 6 anyway, but that's good to know. And 1 second, we're getting a call from the locksmith. There we go. I'm sorry, I had to take a call in the middle of the video. We're getting a lock changed in a house, and I've been waiting for that call. Comes in the middle of the video, you've got to take it. Cerrajero, that's what a locksmith is called here. So where were we? Yes, when translations were last, we also get a notice simply for our Spanish department. Always a good idea. They kept all the original documents. We were asked to sign and address a form for them to return the originals to us. We also wrote our address on the stickers on the poly bags for the return of the passports. We did ask if we could keep the passports, but they were told we could apply by email using the 2 reference numbers we were given, but it would have to be for an emergency reason. So Manchester aren't letting you keep your passport at the moment unless it's an emergency. As of last week, who knows what they'll choose next week. So with that in mind, what do you have to remember? That when you're planning to go to the BLS office, plan to leave your passport, plan your life around the fact you're going to have to leave your passport. If you get it back, it's a Brucey bonus, right? But it's not a dead cert you're ever going to get it back. So don't plan any trips while you're waiting for your visa. He said allow 6 to 12 weeks, but it probably wouldn't be that long. Let's hope not. In all, the process, very simple and easy. So thanks for that, Neil. That is absolutely fabulous. You really did come up with, I'm sure that Neil sent me another one. Yes, he did. This is very interesting. I forgot to add, the hardest part of the whole document gathering process for us was getting the 12 months bank statements. As we had gone paperless, we didn't have copies. So we went to the branch. There was one ATM that printed statements, but only for the last 3 months. Staff there were less than helpful, as they usually are, unfortunately, when you're trying to get statements, and told us we could phone for 12-month statements to be sent, but which could take 2 weeks, or we could print them off ourselves. We did this and went back to the branch and asked them to stamp each page. That is a good solution. It is incredible. We're in the year 2024. They want stamped statements and everybody else works online. It's incredible, but that's a good solution. Print them off, get the bank to stamp them for you. In the end, they needed 3 months anyway. Another thing to note is, for us, we couldn't get a bank statement showing the funds from the sale as it went in on the 1st of February. A day after the January statement, we would need to wait another month for that statement. We did print the transaction report. So they got a transaction report instead of a statement showing the money going in from the ATM that showed the funds in the account. Okay. And they got it stamped. So that's very, very important, because we forget here in Spain, we can get statements on a daily basis which show the transaction for that day. Not always possible in the UK. And that's definitely worth your customers knowing if they rely on house sale to fund their NLV. So we really do appreciate that, Neil. Apart from being an absolutely blinding client, that is a great bit of feedback for everybody else who is going. So what else we got here? Oh, here we go. So let's go back to the Mike. Now, Mike, our client Mike, also sent us a couple of questions So first of all, a couple of good things here from Mike. Now, Mike, who went to London, who I can say has been an absolute gem as well, not only with his application, but he's been supporting our mate Scats quite a bit with information as what Scats has had across the board. I was on YouTooSpain on Saturday, lots of support from the community, and Mike's been one of them who has been talking to me about the treatment of cancer and stuff, and you don't really know these things and questions that you could ask and highlighting things, and I have to say it's opened my eyes to a lot of things that you ask when there is the possibility of someone having cancer. So you know what, Mike, thanks for getting it out there, and thanks for talking to me via email and informing me of certain things. And not only has he been doing that and sent a lovely supportive message to Scats, he's also been giving us some good questions and feedback from the process we've been going through together. So he's point one. This was before he went to his appointment. I just thought of a couple of points that I've not mentioned before. And the point one was, if it takes 4 to 5 weeks to register on the Padron, in the case of Estepona being a more lengthy process than some, check out our Estepona video. Assuming you require the Padron cert before applying for the TIE, it may be impossible to meet the allowed 30 days arriving in Spain for registering on the TIE card. Right, so where does that come from? When you get your visa, you've got 90 days to get in, and the Spanish authorities in the UK always send a bit of paper saying you've got to register this within 30 days when you get in Spain. Okay, that's what they say, but the truth here is not always does it happen like that. The truth is that a lot of the time you'll get your fingerprint appointment further past the 30 days, and there's never been a problem. Going back to what I was saying about in my previous video yesterday about Almeria, get your entry stamp. You can't have an entry stamp after the visa, but if you've got an entry stamp before the expiry of the visa, then you're normally okay to get your TIE card after that, especially if you're in one of those provinces with problems getting an appointment. Maybe they won't be so lenient in Malaga because they know there's an abundance of appointments. But you could also get your appointment on day 29. That appointment could be in 6 weeks' time, and you still won't have a problem registering your visa. So it very rarely happens in 30 days. Number two, if you're in the process of changing driving license to UK to Spanish, which I believe could take a few months, during which time you surrender your UK license for a temporary one, can you use a temporary Spanish license to rent a car if you need to go and make a trip in the UK during the license period process? And would the UK traffic police allow the use of temporary licenses? No, you can't. You can't use a temporary Spanish license to rent a car in the UK. No, I'm not. I don't know the UK companies, but I know you can't. I know you have to be a photo ID card. I've never ever had a problem using my Spanish license to rent a car in the UK, even when it was the paper Spanish license with a stapled photo on it. But definitely you can't use the paper one. So keeping on with Mike, his report back was visited the London. This was from last Thursday. He visited the BLS London 11 o'clock today, and it was torrential rain most of the day. You can see where we are. There you go. Ooh. I'm going to put a receipt up that Mike sent me showing the cost, and also a lovely photo of Mike in the torrential rain. He said I could use it. No queuing outside, was reasonably empty, probably because of the rain, so it's a good thing. Most clients are walk-ins, no appointments. Interesting. We know now there's a no appointment queue there in London, but we don't advise you go without an appointment. So having pre-booked appointments, we got immediate attention. Fantastic. As we had 2 individual applications to process, a very small counter made it very difficult to arrange paperwork, and they kept asking for supplementary documents such as copy of NIE cert and pension letter, confirming we were not working. Unfortunately, I downloaded that from UK Government Gateway website, history of our pension contributions. So state pensioners, you still need to take your letter proving that you're receiving a state pension as proof that you're not working, even if you're in your 70s. They also ask for a copy of the apostilles for the ACRO health certificate, as well as the apostilles already attached on the documents. As we always say, take original and a copy. We had to complete a new form giving permission for sending the passports via courier and complete the address and phone numbers on the courier envelopes. That's what they give you there at the appointment, but it's worth noting that. Although server was friendly, it was definitely a shambles, a mix of Indian and Spanish administration. There we go. Fingers crossed. They do not lose any of the documents. No digital photos asked for, just the photos we already had on us. That's contrary to last week, but it stays in line with the advice that we're giving is take your passport photo with you anyway, albeit they're now supposedly doing the digital photos because the day that they decide they can't do it or the system's broken, you're going to need it. So it's belts and braces, it's back up the tape one. Time in building 20 minutes. Attach the invoice, which he's actually paid $14.55 when booking the appointment online. It was credited when Mike was at the consulate, at the BLS office. So make sure that if you pay the money to get your appointment, it's credited when you get there. Brilliant. And last but not least, oh no, that's the photo of Mike again. So there we go. And what else have we got here? We have got this we found quite funny. Jane has sent this to me. I'm going to put a link below. And it was about the Eurovision entry for Spain. And they constantly use the word zorra, which means vixen. But it also means an awful, depending on the context that you use vixen, it can be extremely rude. And I'm not going to go too much into it, but the the Guardian has published how feminists attacks Spain's sexist Eurovision entry as PN defends the singers. Just read the article. But it does give you an insight into how that word is used. And if you're a non-native Spanish speaker, you should never use it because it's very difficult to get the context right of that word, and it's rude anyway. So there you go. That link's below. Here's a shout out to one of, I shouldn't say favourite clients, one of my long-standing supporters and clients has always been there by our side, and since day one of Upsticks is Ian, who I did their original residency 2018. And recently we had to do a little TIE card swap for him. And yeah, it was really, really nice. He just sent me an email and I said, I'm going to say that on the video if that's okay. Just a quick thank you to you and Tom sorting out the appointment this morning. Despite the wet weather, it all went well. It's been raining a lot, I can tell you that. Excuse me. Oh, I've lost it. Hang on a minute. What have I done? No, come back. I gave Tom the payment, and he will pass it on to Chris later. Yep, that was when he was talking to Jane. We'll wait details for our appointments, pick up the cards, and future. Enjoy your weekend. And I went back to him and said, "Oh, listen, it must be it's been a long time that we've been doing business." And he was like, "Yeah." So thanks to Ian and Jane for constantly supporting us. Just going to give you a shout out there. We've got for the Foremans got their visas. Yay! That's good through London, and that was quick. That was not that quick, a month to get the visas coming over to Almeria. Don't worry, guys. We know there's problems with the appointments, but we are on your side and we will get them for you in Almeria. So well done, guys. Really happy we met in the office, and then they've got their visas. There's been a long road. We've been working on it together for a year now. And this is a nice one from the farmer family who got a golden visa, and they went to register it in Alicante. But guess what happened? So if you got your NIE number in a previous name and you've got married and changed it and you've gone through the whole visa process, it's quite possible you're going to get your visa, or you get your approval in this case from the UG for golden visa, all comes in your name, relates to your NIE number, you go to register it and they haven't changed it on the system. Not a problem. Don't worry about it. It just takes a while to sort out. So normally, if you're in a nice office, they're the ones that call and say, listen guys in Madrid or wherever it is that he's called, you haven't done this, please update it. Then they call you back and say, can you come back on this day to sort it out? No panic if that happens to you. That happened on both NLVs and golden visas. Sometimes you might get a not so friendly office. I really couldn't say snotty office then, but why not? And you have to do it yourself. So we have to contact them and say this is what's happened, and then we have to book an appointment for people to go back. But it's not a problem if it happens. But when you're at that appointment and you're ready to register and someone says no, it definitely sends you into a panic. But we've got that sorted out, so that's fine. And who else we got? Another visa through Manchester. 8 weeks, this one. 8 weeks for Net coming over, but yay! Well done. Net through Manchester. And what else have we got going on here? Oh, this one is rather annoying. So we had an inquiry for a colleague of ours for a Ferrari to register it. But the Ferrari was registered in the UK after Brexit. Now, it's my interpretation that is classed as a vehicle from a third country, right, which outside the EU, which means it can no longer be treated as a vehicle with European conformity. It has to abide by other rules, albeit it might be exactly the same build, might have the European conformity. Because of where it comes from, it won't be treated as a European vehicle. And I suspected this, so I went back to the ITV in Alviso and I said, excuse me, can you just check, can we just bring this in with a normal certificate of conformity? Or has it got to be under the change of resident or acto reglamentario, they call it, system? Alviso told me, no problem, it can be bought in as a European vehicle. Marbella said, no, it can't. So they don't know the rules between themselves. So definitely we'll be going to Alviso, but then you don't want to get to Alviso and they turn and go, oh, we made a mistake. But the good thing is we've got it in writing. We've got it in writing, that's going straight back to them because they said, yes, you can bring it in with a certificate of conformity. That's what we've got here. There's Euro Weekly News, which we are going to be in a couple of weeks there. They've got an advertorial on us. Okay, so Bill Wright. This is the Bordeaux consulate. Remember what I was saying about the Bordeaux only accept cash? Really annoying. But anyway, this is Bill, our client, who went to the Bordeaux consulate, went over here to Granada. As I said, the meeting was fairly uneventful, although it started 30 minutes late. Good to know the French stay with a Spanish rhythm. Nah, to be fair, French do actually seem to be on time nowadays. According to Victor, who's the guy I've been talking to on the internet, he's one of these guys, if you get him on the email, he keeps responding from the consulate, keeps responding, but then you lose him for a week. And once you get him back, you've got to keep him on there. It's like having a WhatsApp conversation. Papers, according to Victor, the papers work perfect. And the Spanish Santander statement sufficient for funds. Evidence of French and UK assets not required. Great. However, evidence of pension income was asked for. Passports not held, interesting, by Bordeaux. Onto by the consulate by Bordeaux, but we have to return, evidently, to get your visas in the passports. They should be ready by the 10th of March. It's good, 4 weeks. I explained that we intend to go back to our flat and a few personal things here that I'm not going to talk to you about. So it also goes on to say, how do we get our appointments to pick up the visas? Normally they email me in Bordeaux and they say your client's visa's here, but we will chase them anyway. So that's that. What else have we got here? A notification for, this is a good one. This is an NLV. Year 1, Irish passport, switch 1 for an EU residency, partner gets an EU family members residency. Both have got 5-year residency now and the right to work. There we go. And we got this through Malaga in 6 days. It is unheard of. I don't know whose desk this landed on, but I was ready for a fight because I was like, oh, they're going to question the NLV, they're going to question this, they're going to question that. We put a good case together. We wrote a letter and went, this is what we're presenting to you, as we always do. And it came back in 6 days. Well done. There we go. Well done, the Whitakers, who, again, have been on a very long journey of Upsticks. And yeah, and then last but not least, check it out. There's the boys from Moyina, the Walking Football Club, there with their Upsticks tops on. There you go. Look at that. Giving us the best of promotion. And yeah, love seeing that. I'm hopefully going to get up to see them very, very soon and see a game. Okay, so I think that is it for our weekly update. The only thing is, I've just seen now, we're going to meet another member of the family. Here you go. This is our Player. Player's like a little baby, aren't you, Player? So Player is now 20 years old. Aren't you? Right? And she's extremely soft. Doesn't really care about the hamster. Has crazy moments and slight touch for the Alzheimer's. But there she is. Player named after Player Park, which is the hotel where I met Lara, believe it or not. So there we go. All right then. Thanks for watching our weekly roundup, week 5. And don't forget, we've got our road trip videos coming up this week as well. Also got another video on Torremolinos coming up. I've got another one from Cadiz, which we haven't published yet. And loads, and our articles on the padrons, which accompany the videos that we have done, are being done slowly. So we're doing one every couple of days now. We've got the template ready, and we'll get them out as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the channel and share with your friends.